The end of history has been declared. According to the thinkers of the time, the big questions were settled. Capitalism won. The future was supposed to be a polished, technicolor dream of strip malls, sitcoms, and effortless progress. But in a rainy corner of the Pacific Northwest, a generation was vomiting. Grunge wasn't just a subgenre or a fashion statement. It was a visceral, sonic rejection of this perfect world. It was the sound of young people staring into the void of the 90s and finding it empty. From the existential dread of the mosh pit to the radical authenticity of the slacker. Before the 90s, rock was a performance of excess. It was about hairspray, spandex, and the spectacle. Martin Heidegger, the German philosopher, warned about the they, a mode of existence where we lose our individuality in the conformist mass. We do what they do. We dress how they dress. Grunge did something radical. It embraced Dasein, or being there. It stripped away the performance. By wearing the clothes of a lumberjack, a janitor, or a thrift store regular, artists like Kurt Cobain or Eddie Vedder were practicing a form of radical authenticity. They refused to be performers. They insisted on being human, even if that human was messy, depressed, and out of tune. In a world of fake neon, being ugly was the only way to be real. If you listen to Lane Stiley or Chris Cornell, you aren't just hearing songs about addiction. You're hearing Albert Camus. Camus spoke of the absurd, the fundamental conflict between our search for meaning and the silent, meaningless universe. While the 80s tried to fill that silence with noise and consumption, grunge sat in the silence. It acknowledged the absurdity. When Alice in Chains sang about the hole in my soul, they were echoing the existential dread of a generation that realized money and peace didn't cure the human condition. The mosh pit became a secular ritual for the absurd, a place to feel the pain of existence together. But there is a tragedy here. The philosopher Theodor Adorno warned that the culture industry is a machine that consumes everything. It takes genuine rebellion and turns it into a product. By 1993, you could buy grunge in a boutique for $500. The very clothes meant to signal a rejection of status became status symbols. This is the central tension of the era. How do you stay real when the world wants to buy your realness? This irony, the anti-hero becoming a global commodity, is what fueled the spiral of many of the era's icons. It was the philosopher's trap. To be seen by the masses is, eventually, to be sold by the system. Critics often call grunge nihilistic, but that's a surface-level take. Pure nihilism is silence. Grunge was a scream. There is a stoic core to the bands that survived. Think of Pearl Jam or Soundgarden. It's the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius in a flannel shirt. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Grunge taught us that you can be broken, you can be less than, and you can still stand in the rain and howl. It wasn't about giving up. It was about the endurance of the self in a world that feels increasingly hollow. It was about finding a way to live after you've seen the void. We don't return to these songs today just for nostalgia. We return because the end of history was a lie. The void didn't go away. It just got a faster internet connection. As long as the world feels a little too fake, a little too polished, and a little too empty, we'll always need a little more feedback. I'm your host. Thanks for stepping into the void with me. Keep thinking and stay heavy.